What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of A Theme Pahk Podcast. I am your host, Frankie Screams, back with you on a lovely Monday afternoon. It is June 9th, 2025. Shout out to my nephew, Anthony. It is his birthday today. Happy birthday, Anthony. I love you. I hope you're having a great day. And I can't wait to spend more times with you at theme parks in the future. You are becoming a theme park fanatic, just like your uncle and mom. I cannot believe you went on all those crazy rides yesterday at the fair. You are about to lap me as far as going on crazier rides than I would go on. So shout out to you, Anthony. Today, we do have a couple of big news stories for you. Mainly, the big one is all the changes happening at Disneyland Resort. So we will get into those updates, those news stories. But before we dive in, I did just want to remind you guys to follow the podcast on social media. We're on TikTok and Instagram. The username is at Theme Pahk Pod. And then we are also on YouTube, where you can watch all of the podcast episodes in full. If, seeing some B-roll is more of your thing, where I show videos and pictures that kind of correlate with the news stories that I'm talking about, maybe YouTube is more your thing. But if you are preferring to be an audio listener, we also are on all major podcast platforms. And I would really appreciate it if you did leave a review for us on whatever platform you're listening on. Leave a review, hit subscribe. And maybe tell some friends to check out A Theme Pahk Podcast. So, that's that for the intro today. I don't want to waste too much time before we break into the news, but my God, it feels like ever since I started this podcast, we are just ambushed with news all the time. And I'm sure this is just what it's always been like. In fact, I know this is what it's always been like. But when you have the responsibility now to cover these news stories, it can be a little overwhelming. But I think it's mainly just because I'm new to this, not new to, theme parks, but new to a podcast. I've never podcasted before in my life. I just started 2 weeks ago for this podcast. And in a weird way, it already feels like I've been doing this for a while. But then at the same time, like just today, setting up for this podcast, just like, who am I? Like, what the hell is going on here? I'm setting up microphones and I'm putting a camera on my face. Like, this is so strange. As you guys have heard in past episodes, I'm not someone who usually stays in front of the camera. I used to be. I used to be in a band and would be in front of the spotlight all the time. But nowadays, for the last 8-9 years, I've been more of a backstage kind of person. I've been a producer, a video editor, a director, a writer, a clothing brand owner. Like, all of these things kept me behind the camera, which I loved. I'm not going to lie. I just love producing and kind of pulling the strings from backstage. But with this podcast, things have certainly changed. And here I am back on camera. And of all things, I'm talking about theme parks. But I wouldn't want it any other way, to be 100 with you. I'm having a blast doing this. I look forward to recording podcasts every single day. I'm just really stoked about all of this, finding my groove, finding my sound. I know I probably have talked about this a lot on the podcast already, but I just wanted to kind of talk about what the hell is on my mind right now. Other than that, what's going on in my life as far as theme parks go? Well, when I got back from my last trip this past a month ago in May, I got back and I instantly knew, okay, I have to do whatever it takes to get back to Orlando, Florida, because I got the annual pass now for Universal Studios. That's good up for a whole nother 11 months. And I felt like there was so much more for me to do. I didn't get to go to a lot of the Disney parks. I only got to go to Magic Kingdom. So I really told myself coming home, like, all right, dude, like, you got to get back there ASAP, at least 1 or 2 more trips before the new year kicks in. So I have been seeking opportunities. Let's just put it that way. I've been looking at how I can get flights for very cheap. I've been looking at how we can stay at the Universal Orlando Resort for as cheap as possible. And just a couple of days ago, I had to pull the trigger on a big decision. And it mainly comes from a deal, a discount, a sale, if you will, for Southwest Airlines, which is not my preferred airline to go to. I'm not going to lie. I like JetBlue. JetBlue is very convenient for me flying out of Providence, Rhode Island. But my sister put this deal on my radar and I could not pass it up. They were offering for about a couple of days. I think it was only like 3 or 4 days max. They were offering 50% off of flights. So I convinced a buddy of mine, Corey, to come with me on this trip. And we were both very flexible with when we were going to leave, when we were going to come back. We knew that we wanted to go in either late September or early October. That way we can experience Halloween Horror Nights for the first time ever. And we also wanted to be able to spend some days at the parks and the parks not be super, super crowded. So that's the time frame that we ended up choosing. What we did was we went on the Southwest Airlines app and we started putting all different scenarios for when we would fly in and then fly back home. And we just kept looking for like the lowest overall total price that we could find. Let me tell you exactly what it was. Wow, crazy. Yeah, so we ended up finding round trip flights for after taxes and fees, $117. So that is the cheapest round trip flights I have ever come across for myself or, for booking other people. Unbelievable, $117, and we've got round trip flights. We've got everything we need under that. But there is a bit of, what should I say, a hurdle. We do have one hurdle for me to conquer, and I will document it for the trip and let you know how things go. But so we're leaving Tuesday, September 30th. We're leaving at 5:30 in the morning, which I have never done in my life. I usually fly out at least early afternoon, late afternoon. I'm not typically a morning person, but theme parks have kind of changed my ways a little bit. So it looks like I'm going to be waking up at like 3 in the morning that day, going to PVD. We'll fly out at 5:30. We'll land in Baltimore at 7 a.m., then jump on another flight from Baltimore at 8:20 a.m. and land in Orlando for 10:50 a.m. And then the plan is to take an Uber straight to the Disneyland Resort. We'll be staying at Pop, I believe. We haven't locked that in yet, but it looks like we're going to be staying at Pop. We'll check in, throw our bags down, and then head straight to Epic. We'll head straight to EPCOT, where we will meet up with my sister, my brother-in-law, my nephews, and my niece, and we'll spend a full day with the family there at EPCOT. Very much looking forward to that day because I haven't been to EPCOT in a while, and there's just so much stuff for me to check out and do for the first time. Last time I was there, Guardians of the Galaxy wasn't open yet. I was walking by seeing the construction walls and being intrigued, and at this time we had no idea what the ride was. So now I'll be able to go and experience that ride for the first time ever, along with a couple of other rides that I've been meaning to get on. I've been on them before, but I just really, really want to get on them now that I'm a super nerdy theme park fan. Stuff like Living with the Land, Spaceship Earth, like just really niche things that I want to be doing at EPCOT. And then let's see. So after that day, we will go back to Pop and stay for the night. And then we will wake up. At that point, my sister is going to be flying out and it'll just be me and Corey for the rest of the week. We'll wake up and we'll go to Hollywood Studios. We'll be at Hollywood Studios for most of the day. Corey is a big Star Wars fan, has never been to Galaxy's Edge. I'm looking forward to watching him experience it for the first time. And he's never been on Rise, obviously, because he's never been at Galaxy's, but he knows nothing about Rise. He's avoided all the spoilers. So it's going to be cool for me to live vicariously through him and watch him be blown away by all this amazing stuff at Galaxy's Edge. And then we're hoping to jump on Slinky Dog. I still have never been on that ride. Got to do Tower of Terror. We'll do Rock and Roller Coaster one last time with the Aerosmith theme on it, which I will get more into in our news stories. Then after that, we're going to Uber over to the Universal Resort, and we're going to be staying at Dockside for the rest of our time there. So we'll check into Dockside. It will be my first time there as well. Probably go to City Walk for a quick dinner, and then probably get to sleep pretty early, because then the next day we're going to go to Epic Universe. We're going to spend a whole day at Epic Universe. Cannot wait. It will be my second time there. Looking forward to experiencing the park now that I've been there once and I kind of know what to expect. I know what's worth certain kind of long waits, and I know what's not. Cough, cough. Mario Kart, cough, cough. Yeah, so we've got, we're going to do lunch at Burning Blade. We're going to go to Blue Dragon for dinner. For the morning, we're going to go get those mac and cheese cones at Isle of Burke. After that, it will be Friday. For most of the day, we're going to rest. Then it looks like we're going to go to Disney Springs for an early dinner. And then we're going to Halloween Horror Nights for the first time ever for me. We already got our tickets, and we also got express passes too, which I'm so stoked about. Wasn't even planning on getting express passes, but once Fallout got announced, Corey was like, nah, bro, we need the express passes. He's a huge Fallout fan, and I'm a huge WWE fan, and it looks like we're getting a WWE attraction or house of some sort. So for us, we're like, all right, we got to go all out for this one. We're going to be in all of our glory that day. So yeah, that'll be the Halloween Horror Nights day. We're going to go from start to finish all the way up till 2 a.m. Then we're going to wake up the next day on Saturday and do a full day at Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. I don't know how the sleep is going to be for me on that one, but at least if I get tired, I can take an Uber to the resort for a couple hours and take a nap and then go back. So looking forward to that one as well, doing all the rides. It'll be Corey's first time at this park as well in a very long time. He went when he was much younger, but this is the first time he'll be there with Harry Potter, with Coaster, the Bourne Stunt Show. I think he didn't see either. Pretty sure that's kind of new. Yeah, and then our last day is completely open. So we do have some ideas floating around, other than just relaxing at the resort, which could end up happening too. But we do have some ideas of what we could do on that last full day that we have. I was thinking maybe unmasking the horror for a Halloween Horror Nights extra for us. We can do that during the daytime. Or we can just do a whole nother night at Halloween Horror Nights if we really, really enjoyed our first night there. Or we can do a park repeat. I wrote down that we can go back to Epic, or we can go back to Hollywood Studios or EPCOT, or maybe even throw an Animal Kingdom in there. And then I threw in some wild cards. Maybe we end up at SeaWorld or Busch Gardens. We have the option. We have the flexibility. Nothing holding us back other than money, which is a big deal. We're going to have to save up a lot of money for this trip. But I think it's going to be worth it. We're going all out. Corey hasn't been in a while, and I have been wanting to kind of splurge on a Disney trip and just do all the little things, big and little things that I've wanted to do. So I feel like this is my one chance to do this with a good friend of mine, somebody that I grew up with, somebody that I know very well. We're going to try to plan the sickest vacation ever. And, just fucking celebrate our nerdy passions for things like Fallout, WWE, and theme parks as a whole. So that is the plan. Then the next day we fly out at 9 a.m. direct flight straight back home. And that's when the sadness will kick back in. But until then, we will continue giving you guys updates on our trip. And I mean, not updates on the trip. I don't think you guys really need to keep hearing about it, but I will give you tips and tricks and different things like that I come across as we're planning, just because I feel like it might help some of you guys out, especially our nonchalant crew, the fans of the podcast who aren't diehards, who aren't obsessed and don't know all the new ins and outs of these theme parks, especially with Disney. Disney is like a whole nother beast. And I will be leaning on my sister for a lot of the advice on that one. But all right, I spent enough time on my vacation. It is now time to move on to the news stories of the day. So let's dive right into it. Story number 1, big Disneyland Resort expansion plans announced. All right, the official Disney Parks blog put out a brand new update giving us a peek behind the curtain at what they're planning for the future of Disneyland Resort in California. Here's the rundown. First up, an all-new parking structure and transportation hub is coming to the resort area. This new hub will be built on what's currently the Manchester cast member parking lot on the east side of the resort. It's going to add about 6,000 new parking spaces, plus areas for shuttles, rideshare pickups, security screening, and even a new pedestrian bridge over the Harbor Boulevard, which will lead to a brand new arrival experience. So they're basically trying to improve parking, traffic flow, and just the entire arrival process for guests, which many Disneyland regulars feel is long overdue. Construction on this new area is scheduled to begin in fall of 2026. So yeah, quick reaction to that. And let me just pop up the concept art for this new transportation hub. Looks amazing. Looks really, really clean. And then most notably, you can see that they've brought back the original Disneyland Resort sign. I believe I heard in a video this past weekend, that Disneyland sign that you see there, that is the original Disneyland sign, and it hasn't been seen in like over 20 years. So that is a big deal for this historic sign to be back. Now, it's not confirmed if that is the actual physical sign that used to be at the entrance of Disneyland, or if this is a brand new build just based on that sign. But either way, I think it's really cool. It's very nostalgic to see that font again, and like the gold D and just all of that. But the transportation hub looks really, really cool. A lot of Disney experts have been diving in on this concept art. They have really been dissecting and pulling crazy ideas out of it. People are thinking, like, if you go and look in the background, people are seeing like things that aren't there that should be there. This building here, I guess, isn't really there. So are they doing expansions to Tomorrowland or Space Mountain of some sort? There's all kinds of speculation going on. If you are a fan of that kind of stuff and really like to dive deep into concept art and theories and stuff like that, there's a lot of really smart people on YouTube that break this stuff down. For me, I really enjoy Hey Bricky. Hey Bricky, I recently discovered his channel maybe about a month ago, and I really love his style, and I love the way that he looks at things. He did a really cool video. He did 2 videos actually now, one on actual property, and then he did a video as soon as the news broke out where he dived so far into theories and ideas and things that they can be up to. So if you want to learn or hear more about those kind of things, check out the Hey Bricky YouTube channel. Shout out to Bricky. He's doing an amazing job, and I'm excited to keep watching him cover this story because he does a really good job with it. Moving on, as this construction is set to begin in 2026 for this new transportation hub, there are also some huge new additions coming to the parks. The new Coco ride is officially going to be built near Paradise Gardens Park and Pixar Pier, in areas that are mostly backstage today. Construction on that is starting backstage this fall. So just a couple months away from the Coco ride beginning construction. I didn't actually pull up this information, but I'm pretty sure the Coco ride is a dark boat ride of some sort. So very much looking forward to seeing what they do with this new Coco ride. Then there is also a new Avatar experience coming to California Adventure. And by Avatar experience, I mean an Avatar land. So a portion of the Hollywood backlot is going to be transformed for this. No opening date yet, but they say it's still in early development. They did confirm that Monsters, Inc. Mike and Sully to the Rescue will close early 2026 to make way for this new Avatar land. So rest in peace to the Monsters ride at Disneyland. Unfortunately, they will have to take that ride away, knock it down to make room for this new Avatar experience. And just want to give you a little bit of my thoughts on Avatar and Avatar Land. I don't get it. Let me say that again, looking at the camera. I don't get it. I don't understand why Disney is obsessed with Avatar. Looking at concept art, even looking at the movies Avatar, yes, they are beautiful movies, stunning landscapes, unreal, right? But I don't know one Avatar fan. I don't know anybody who's asking for more Avatar at the Disney parks. Avatar, to me, as far as I can tell, it doesn't have like a diehard fan base like a Star Wars has, like Toy Story has. Avatar? I thought we were good. I thought we were good with the Avatar land at Animal Kingdom. I thought that's all we needed. I thought, okay, that's good. We're good with this. But here we are, and these guys are doing a whole Avatar land in California now. I just don't get it. Don't you guys have something better to make a land out of than Avatar again? Maybe I'll eat my words. Maybe I will watch the new movies that are coming out and be completely blown away, and I'll see the rides that they have, and I will regret everything I said today. But as of now, as of June 9th, 2025, I don't get this shit, man. I don't understand where this Avatar love is coming from. Maybe I'm just not in those corners of the internet to see, but I don't ever see anybody getting hyped up over Avatar stuff. If you're out there, leave a comment. Let me know. I'm telling you, I'm probably wrong about this, right? Because Disney wouldn't open up a brand new land if they didn't think that there were enough fans there, I guess. Just coming from my point of view, I don't get it. There's so many other things that I would have loved to see. I know, you got to do new things too, but I don't care for Avatar right now. Yes, I'm happy that Disneyland is getting an expansion and most of it is going to be from the Hollywood backlot area, right? So we're not getting rid of a bunch of rides or lands to make this Avatar land. We are getting rid of the Monsters, Inc. ride, and that does suck, but at least it's not something bigger, But yeah, that's my take on Avatar. I spent too much time on that one. The next thing that I wrote down here for this Disneyland update is they also confirmed again in the blog post that 2 brand new attractions are coming to Avengers Campus, which will double the size of that land. So now let's talk a little bit more about that. One of those attractions is called Avengers Infinity Defense. This was first announced over 2 years ago, and it's set to be a major E-Ticket ride. Details are still pretty limited, but Disney has shared a teaser image of the ride vehicle, and from what we can tell, it looks like it's going to be a trackless dark ride, kind of in the same vein as Rise of the Resistance, which does sound awesome. At the 2024 D23 Expo, they announced that construction on this Avengers Infinity Defense ride would officially start in 2025. Back in February of 2025, they closed the red car trolley specifically to make way for this brand new ride. There's also been visible work going on behind Avengers Campus in what used to be part of the Timon parking lot and backstage areas. Now, as far as opening date goes, nothing official yet. But looking at similar big attractions like Tiana's and the Runaway Railway, which both took about 3 to 4 years from announcement to opening. 2026 is possible, but a lot of insiders think 2027 is probably more realistic for this one. Either way, this is going to be a major addition to California Adventure. And with that, plus the Avatar project and the Coco ride, Disneyland is about to inject a lot of new energy into its parks. Lots of major movement happening at Disneyland Resort. This is just the first wave announcements as well. Disney says more is coming as they continue to roll out new projects. So yeah, I wanted to just kind of give you a little bit of an update as far as what we know about this new Avengers dark ride of some sort coming. Disney is just moving so slow with this shit, man. So slow. Get that shit going. By the time you guys open this ride, nobody's going to care about Avengers anymore. They already don't, right? Like the new movies for the past 4 years have not been doing well. They did so horribly that they have to bring back some of these old characters and old actors like Iron Man. It's getting stale. Avengers is getting stale. And here we are, and we're still not going to have this new ride by next year or possibly even the year after that. By the time this ride comes around, maybe we'll be feeling nostalgic about it because it had been so long since the real big Avengers movies had hit theaters. But as far as right now goes, Avengers is stale, man. We're sick of it. I'm speaking for me, right? But I'm sick of it. It's just another one of those cases where I don't know if we needed an Avengers campus expansion. Maybe we were good with what we had. Keep it the way it is. Keep it for mainly kids. I will definitely be paying way more attention to Disneyland moving forward. So I will probably have better opinions, more educated opinions on this topic in the future. But as of now, I'm very confused about a lot of the stuff and a lot of the decisions that they're making over there. No negative things to say about the Coco ride. I think that one does make sense. And the new transportation hub, I think that makes a lot of sense too. But Avatar and Avengers, I don't know. I really don't. Now we're moving on to some EPCOT news here, where Test Track 3.0 is looking like it's almost ready to go. We got a big construction update this week. Lots of visible progress happening over at the attraction. First off, the brand new Test Track marquee is up. The entrance signage looks pretty much complete, and even the gift shop has been renamed. It is now officially called the Test Track Gear Shop, with matching new signage out front. The ride vehicles are now cycling frequently, which usually means testing is moving into the final stages and getting closer to operational levels. Now, Disney still hasn't announced an official reopening date just yet, but a lot of signs are pointing towards it being very soon. And then today, they actually removed most of the construction walls from around the attraction, which is a huge sign that we're making progress and the ride will be opening soon. Okay, so right now there's just rolling planters in front of the building and the new entrance overhang and signage are fully visible. Construction isn't completely done, however. There's still some plastic wrap around parts of the support and a little equipment on site, but it's definitely in the home stretch. Some other quick little details for you about Test Track. Test Track is now going back to being presented by General Motors after 12 years under the Chevrolet branding. The only construction walls still left are along the sidewalk closest to Mission Space. Everything is pointing towards a summer 2025 reopening, which matches what Disney had previously said. All right, guys, so there you have it. Test Track 3.0 is almost here. Any day now, we should be getting the news about the opening date for this. And boom, we'll be off to the races. No pun intended. I'm excited for this one. I like Test Track. I think it's needed at EPCOT. I think without it, it opens up a big, giant hole for a thrilling coaster. I love the ride. I didn't really like 2.0's retheme much. The gimmick behind it with, using the screens and creating your car and all that stuff, it was bogus. It really had nothing to do with how the ride turned out for you. I hope they get away from that and just kind of try to give you a good story or just good experience overall, and less about customizing fake cars that you don't even really have control over. So I can't wait. I hope that when they do put the news out for 3.0's release opening date, I hope we get something more than just a Disney blog post with some information. Like, cut us an amazing trailer, cut us an amazing teaser, some kind of video, give us some kind of insight, make us get more hyped up than we ever thought we could be for Test Track 3.0. That's all I wrote for Disney news, just those two big stories there. Before I go to the Universal news, I did want to mention, I don't know if people know this, but Lowe's has Haunted Mansion decorations. So this isn't one of my news stories, but I did want to put this out there. They have all kinds of cool stuff, all Haunted Mansion themed, including tombstones. They've got Halloween lights. They've got statues, some cool stuff there. Haunted Mansion is one of the best rides ever created. And oh, look, they even got a inflatable ghost, the hitchhiking inflatable ghost. Wow, that is cool. Haunted Mansion is legendary, and I love to see things like this happening. Anytime that you can bring a little bit of the park magic to your own home, I think is a huge plus. The fact that we've got Haunted Mansion yard decorations is so sick. What is this right here? 6 feet freestanding, motion activated, musical lighted, the Haunted House Mansion, life-size horseman animatronic. Wow, that was a mouthful, but I was able to get it all in there. This thing looks badass. $329. 6 feet tall. Oh, we've got a video. Let's check it out. Oh, that's sick. That is fire. I like that. That is cool. I need that. I need that in my room. $329. I'm saving up for it. Yeah, so I just want to let you guys know about that. I thought that was sick. Moving on to a Universal story. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I changed my mind. I have one more big Disney story for you today. Story number 3, MuppetVision 3D's emotional last day and new Muppets Coaster confirmed. Over at Hollywood Studios now, it's been an emotional week for Muppet fans. This past Saturday, MuppetVision 3D officially closed to the public after being open for 34 years. All day long, the Muppet Courtyard was packed. It was a bit of a mixed emotion day. On one hand, people were celebrating the Muppets and the legacy of the show. But of course, there was also a lot of sadness. The theater itself was full all day long, show after show. And for the final public showing that night, there was a really special moment. Heather Henson, daughter of Jim Henson, was actually the last guest to enter the attraction. Such a cool and fitting way to honor the show's final day. As Heather was making her way through the entrance area, she turned, looked to the fans, and she said, "Muppet fans are the best. You guys are the absolute best. We love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. We're hanging it up. Bye, guys." Now, there will be one final cast member showing coming up, but that is a private event just for cast members and invite-only type of people. More on the final day. Outside the theater, as the park was closing, the Muppets Courtyard was packed. Hundreds of fans gathered around the Miss Piggy fountain, and this beautiful, spontaneous moment happened. The crowd broke out into a sing-along of Rainbow Connection. Just an incredible moment of Disney fandom. If you haven't seen the video on social media, go check it out. It'll hit you right in the feels. my own quick thoughts on that. I watched the video last night. It was emotional. I didn't think I would like get choked up watching it, but I did get choked up. Throughout the day, you also had original Muppet voice actors showing up, mingling with guests, interacting with fans, and it was just a really special day overall. Inside the theater, there were standing ovations, tons of applause. People were really showing Disney just how much this show meant to them. So yeah, there you have it. I didn't expect to get emotional watching people's footage of this, but I did. I did get a little choked up, especially when everybody started singing Rainbow Connection. I thought that was so touching. And then after Heather Henson was the last guest to go into the park, you could see like in everybody's like vlog footage, everybody who was there just filled up the courtyard. They were all just like looking at the Muppet building, and they didn't want to leave. Like, they weren't leaving until Disney kicked them out. And that's exactly what happened. A cast member made the announcement, basically in the nicest way possible, said, the park is closed, get the fuck out of here now. Like I said, she said that in a very, very respectful and nice way. But once she said that, everybody broke out into a giant applause, and then they all left. And I thought that was kind of emotional too, because like, they didn't want to leave. They held on for as long as possible in Muppets Courtyard until finally a cast member said, all right, guys, it's time for you guys to leave. So, yeah, that was emotional to watch. We're not done, though, with this Muppet news, because on the very same day as MuppetVision's closure, Disney officially announced that the Muppets will be taking over Rock and Roller Coaster, and the rethemed version will debut in 2026. Wait a second. Disney moving fast to open up brand new attractions? What is happening here? We don't have an exact opening date yet. Oh, okay. There we go. That sounds more like Disney. But we do know that the current Aerosmith version will stay open through the end of 2025. As far as what to expect from the new ride, don't expect a massive rebuild. It looks like the track layout and the ride system will stay the same. The coaster itself will likely still be a high-speed dark coaster, with most of the big changes being in the theming, pre-show visuals, and the soundtrack. Overall, it sounds like this is going to be a relatively quick switch over once Aerosmith closes, not a years-long project. Yeah, we'll see about that, Disney. I do have high hopes on this one because it doesn't really seem like you have to do much, right? If the track layout's going to stay the same, the ride system, the ride vehicle, all that stuff is going to be the same. Get that shit going. Let's get a move on with that one ASAP so we can maybe stop talking to Disney like they are so slow at making new attractions happen. If they could get this MuppetVision, if they could get this new Muppet roller coaster opened by sometime in 2027, I would be blown away. And I would say maybe Disney is finally changing their ways and going to speed up the process here now that they have Universal stepping on their necks with Epic. So it's sad to say goodbye to MuppetVision 3D this past weekend, but at least the Muppets will live on in a brand new way at Hollywood Studios. And I'm excited to see what they come up with for this coaster. All right, guys, now we're officially moving on to the Universal news story of the day. And it is my final news story. Unless something broke out while I was recording, we'll have to check. But here we go. Story number 4 is a Ghostbusters ride on the way. All right, let's shift gears back over to Universal Orlando, where some very interesting construction updates are sparking a lot of new Ghostbusters ride speculation. Here's what's going on. Over in the New York backlot area of the park, which longtime fans will know has been home to several Ghostbusters-themed attractions in the past, there are now brand new construction walls going up. This update comes from Inside Universal's social media channels. They posted that a construction barrier is now surrounding the treble clef element of Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, which of course is the coaster that's set to permanently close this August. Now, here's where things get very interesting. The signage on the construction walls actually references restoration efforts for the Engine 89 firehouse, which used to be the entrance to the old Ghostbusters Spooktacular stage show back in the day. And right nearby is that New York Public Library facade, another super iconic location tied to Ghostbusters. So, when you pair that with the fact that Ghostbusters has been popping up everywhere lately at Universal, it's been in the Mega Movie Parade, the sensational Lagoon Show, and of course, it had a very popular haunted house attraction at Hollywood Horror Nights. It definitely feels like something could be brewing. Inside the park today, you've still got the Ecto-1, you still got Stay Puft parade floats, props in the film store, in the film vault store. So Universal has been leaning into Ghostbusters branding lately hardcore, like almost enough to make us think that a Ghostbusters ride is in our future. And now with Rip Ride Rocket closing this August and that coaster's track running directly through the firehouse facade, this new restoration work seems like a pretty clear sign that they're prepping this space for something big. Nothing is confirmed yet. This is still speculation at this point, but a lot of insiders and fans are starting to think we could be seeing a Ghostbusters dark ride or major attraction take shape here in the next couple of years. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on this one because if they do it right, it could be a killer addition to the Universal Orlando lineup. There you have it. You've probably seen these rumors floating around over these last couple of days. It does have a lot of the Ghostbusters fans really stoked and excited. I would love for it to be some sort of Ghostbusters roller coaster / dark ride hybrid, something next level, new technology based, maybe something like a Gringotts, but goes outdoors and indoors, you know, something that has a little bit more of a longer track layout. So something a little bit closer to resemble a roller coaster, but at points it does settle into some show scene areas, kind of like Hagrid's too. That's what I would love to see. I mentioned in the other episode that I wanted a new roller coaster at Studios, and I still stand by that as much as I love dark rides. But I would also be so down for some sort of hybrid coaster dark ride experience for Ghostbusters. Seems like a no-brainer to me. So hopefully that happens. That's it for my news stories for the day. I was hoping for some Halloween Horror Nights news, but it doesn't look like we're getting anything on that front. I believe we will get another big announcement for Halloween Horror Nights this week, probably another IP or maybe an original. All right, guys, that does it. So with that said, I will see you in a couple of days. I will be back in a couple of days to go over more breaking news because it never ends. But until then, take care. Peace out.